want to explain something here about jazz harmony, and I'm going to talk about movement within a key, assuming that most of you know, hopefully, the theory of scale degrees in a major key like C major, and that you know already the scale degrees and the qualities of each degree. The 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to talk about how to move chromatically or any kind of interval within that key and still staying in C, but how you go out of the key and coming back and what's available to you. Okay, so obviously you can move diatonically, where you go to the 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 5, 1, 3, 1, 6. A lot of stuff to do there, right? But now, because a lot of jazz standards, they don't stay diatonic. There's always some odd chords that come here and there that are outside of C major, but they always come back. Like this. So how do you wrap your head around all of that? I would show you some tricks how to move chromatically up and down the C major world, but you're actually playing chromatically. So how does that make sense? Let me explain. The thing that will probably unlock for you is when you will understand the options that you have in terms of quality, okay? So the quality of the chord, right? Obviously the 1, in terms of the basic theory, has to be a major 7, right? But there's so many standards that the 1 becomes, it starts here and then it goes to a diminished. Or it starts here and then it goes to a sus chord, to a 7, and then it goes here. Or it starts major and then it becomes minor. And then it changes the key for a second, and then maybe it comes back 2-5 to 1. So I'm also assuming that you all know about 2-5s and some basic progressions. Those are a little bit advanced ideas, but they're still very fun, even if you don't know the whole theory. Okay, so the 1, so it's all about qualities, right? So the 1, let's say we start with major, no problem. We don't have to start with something else, but we're going upwards chromatically. Okay, and we're gonna talk about what kind of options we have. So, obviously, after C, the next chord will be C sharp. Okay, maybe a diminished is one of the most obvious answers. Why? There's so many standards, by the way, in songs that starts like that, because then it goes to the 2 perfectly. So C sharp diminished going into D minor makes sense. It's a very, very well used cadence. So we did C sharp, diminished, maybe D minor. We know the 2 is a minor. We don't have to change it so much, okay? Okay. Maybe here we can do another diminished, okay? Now the 4 is just half step above. We can just play it as is, okay? So. Now, let's do something different for F sharp. When in doubt, probably a dominant chord will work, okay? Now, I like to think about the top voice, and that will indicate the quality of what kind of dominant chord I want to do. So there's different kinds of dominant chords. The dominant chords that are like sharp 9, those are the ones that sound really good resolving up often. So it goes really nice into G dominant. So check it out. You got this. And then G dominant, okay? Now A flat, we can also do a dominant sharp 11. These chords are very movable. When you play that, always sounds good when you move it chromatically or any interval. So from the top, okay, and then resolve to A minor. But that A flat, I know we can do the sharp 9 dominant chord, but we can also do something else. We can also do a major 7. Okay? So check it out. Okay? I like that. A flat major 7. Okay, it's kind of like a C minor. So sometimes when you move within a key, it will change the quality of the key. Suddenly it's like a minor sound, you know? And suddenly it will sound like you're going to a different key, like F major 7, the 4, and then that becomes a minor. And it almost sounds like we're going to E flat, right? But we can come back to C at any time. And once we reach like a transitional chord, like a D flat, which is the flat 2, that's supposed to bring us back to C, sometimes you don't have to go back to C, you know? We can stay in the D flat zone and then go back to C. And even the C, the one itself, we can change, you know, its quality and then back. Okay? So that was just a little, I went on a tangent there. Okay. Like this. Okay, think about the melody. Cool. A minor, we're on the 6. We have like 1, 2, 3 more, basically 2 more. Okay, so the B flat, it's the flat 7 of the key. It's very common to use it as a dominant chord, you know? Okay, so B flat dominant, let's do that. And then B, which is the 7th of the key, and usually it's a half diminished if you stay in diatonic, or it could be G over B, or G7 over B. Okay, so we can do those. We can play an inversion of a different chord, but if you want to keep it in the language that we've done, so we can turn it into a diminished, and then resolve it back to C major 6, why not? So. Okay, so it's a great exercise to just try to force yourself to be creative and to come up with solutions just moving chromatically. I think it kind of focuses on something specific, and it's not like, oh, what should I do? So here's what you should do. Pick a key and move chromatically. You know, let's choose, I don't know, F major, okay? Cool? I always do that kind of stuff. Just I like to figure out movements within a key or switching keys, okay? So let's do it backwards. Let's go here, F major 7 right here, okay? Okay. Moving chromatically and really just playing weird stuff on purpose and see if it works. If you want to choose just randomly other intervals, like moving in thirds within the key, so like not going so close to each other. Chromatically, you go here, from here, you go to third, and then a third, and then a third, right? And then a third, and then a third. And that was all diatonic. This is diatonic in F major. Out that, okay. So now we'll do thirds where you are allowed to also get out of the key. So look. Back to F, a third down. Right, and then maybe I want to do one chromatic, and then a third, and then a third, a third. Another movement that is classic within jazz language is fourths and fifths, okay? Okay, and then that's kind of like the cousin of moving chromatically. Let me just explain that real quick. If you do a 2-5 to F, okay? If you do a 2-5 to F, then instead of C7, you can play F sharp 7, which sharing almost all the notes the same except F sharp. So, and it also makes sense because that F sharp really want to go down to F. So that's a 2-5 with a tritone sub. The substitution is instead of C7 is F7. So in a way, these are in jazz language almost equal. So we just did a chromatic movement instead of a fourth away to C and then a fourth back to F. You understand what I mean? So that kind of movement of fourth, which is 2-5, 2-5, 2-5, can also be chromatic movement. A very quick video about something pretty advanced, but I think it's super interesting and hopefully it makes sense the way I explained it. So always ask me questions in the comments if you need, and we'll figure it out together. All right, and thanks for watching.